I was reading this morning about our repulsive Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, taking his daughter to a purity ball. I'm still talking about the courts. ABC News got its hands on a German documentary from a few years ago featuring our idiot Speaker and his daughter. And they followed Mike Johnson as he and his daughter go as dates to a purity ball, a purity dance. It's a father-daughter dance down in Louisiana. Yeah, that's kind of creepy. Forget the purity ball. The whole idea of a father-daughter dance where the dad picks up a corsage. I know many of you are thinking, well, it's Louisiana. Of course there would be a father-daughter dance. There are probably brother-sister dances. Purity balls. That's where the daughter, I wish I were making this up. I find this sad. The daughter signs a contract with her father not to have sex until she's married. So this is all about controlling a woman's body and controlling her pleasure. It's saying only one man, you're only permitted to have sex with one man. Only one man will ever be allowed to make you happy in the eyes of the Lord. And you bring them to the purity balls, and you make these women sick and terrified. Mike Johnson is this girl's father, the most important man in his daughter's life ever. And so here's the most important man in her life, the template upon which she picks her future husband, poor girl, and he forces her to sign a contract. And then he gives her a purity ring. And she makes a vow to save her body for marriage in front of her father. This is so beyond abortion, the controlling a woman's body. Put this ring on, make a vow, now, my darling daughter, before me, Jesus, that I will have one shot with one man, but I will have to marry him first. And I know Jesus is watching, and I promise that if I have sex before I'm married and lie to you, I will have to give back my purity ring, I will be defiled, and I will burn in hell. Who would do that to a daughter about sex? What's going on here? I don't want my daughter. Babies, I always say, I don't want to hear about it. Babies, it's like, I don't want to know how the sausage is made. Just give me the baby. I don't want to know about my kids, not interested. I understand that. But to deny one of the greatest gifts that there is, but to deny your daughter love, an expression of love, you have to be married to the guy. And you don't know you're never going to find out if he's a closet case until you marry him. That's what Mike Johnson wants for his daughter. Obsessed with sex. Fearful, Mike Johnson is terrified of all sex, not just gay sex, heteros. He's just purity balls. What kind of sex is Mike Johnson doing with his wife that he's so afraid that some guy will talk his daughter into before they get married? What is Mike Johnson doing or trying to do or can't do but wants to do with his wife that he's so terrified that his daughter will be talked into it by a strange man? These are sick and diseased people, and he controls the Republican Party right now. Well, besides being a mental defective, a backwater hick from Louisiana, besides being sick in the head, Mike Johnson thinks he's a devout Christian. He thinks he's a devout Christian. So, the question I always ask is, why would a man like Mike Johnson, who's so hung up on sex, so terrified of sex, support Donald Trump, who 3 wives, rape, objectifies his daughter, hung out with Jeffrey Epstein? How do you go from being Mike Johnson, putting a purity ring on your young daughter, to fighting to the bitter end for Donald Trump? How do you get there? The court, the court, the court. It is all about the courts. Mike Johnson, these Republicans, they don't care that Trump is a libertine, that he talks about immigrants poisoning our blood or threatening to be a dictator, or storms the Capitol to hang Mike Pence or Nancy Pelosi. In the end, all these Republicans are thinking is the court, the court, the court, by any means necessary. By any means necessary. Which means 2024 is going to be a nasty, nasty election. Don't believe the polls. Biden's approval rating right now means nothing. He's got a record to run on, an unimpeachable, if you will, record to run on. And the Republicans know this. That's why it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. And we know that Trump is probably, who knows, is going to be the nominee. But even if it's Haley, these Republicans do not hold up under scrutiny. They can't win national elections. Since 1988, only one Republican candidate has won the popular vote for president. That was in 2004, George W. Bush, and we were in the middle of a war. Republicans don't hold up under scrutiny when it comes to the popular vote. They have to win through gerrymandering, the courts, voter suppression, and working the Electoral College. That's how they win, because they do not hold up under scrutiny. The American people reject. Given an opportunity to vote, they reject the Republicans. Trump will not hold up under scrutiny. He did lose in 2020. We're so afraid of him. He lost the popular vote in 2016, and the American people rejected him resoundingly in 2020. And he was the incumbent. So I have faith. The American people are going to reject Donald Trump.